What's going on out there in the land of YouTube? What is going on, everybody? How is everybody? Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me all right. Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me okay. If you would, pretty please. Sugar and cherries on top. Everybody, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Just take 5 seconds. Hit the like button. We're doing something for somebody else today. We're going to, collectively here with the folks in this audience, we are going to raise $500 for XXGO who got arrested the other night. And I'm actually just pulling up the video now on my phone. It's easier to do search history on your phone. And so we're going to do, what a lot of people call God's work, because everybody here knows what it's like when you get wrongfully arrested and it costs you hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, that first 500 to get them out of jail. And so all the mods here know, let me put it up here for you guys. I don't have it all set up. So I'm just going to put it here. Put it up here on the comment and I'll pin it. So I need 25 people with $20. That's what I need. I need 25 people with $20. I'm going to put Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal up on. I'm going to pin it up here on the screen here. I typically have an assistant that helps me do this, but I'm just doing it. So there that is, and then the Zelle is my email address. elitelaws@gmail.com. So we're already $40 up. I'm going to show his arrest, but first let me grab that right there. There that is. Okay, hope everybody can see that. Boom. There it is. And I zeroed it out, except for I have $20 from Alan, $20 from Greg, who both said they didn't know if they could be here tonight or not. So they already sent their money in. There it is. There's my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. I'm going to show you guys my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal right now so you guys can see where it is. And then I'm going to show his arrest video right now. I'm going to show him get arrested. So there that is. For Fundraiser from Campbell Farm. Campbell Farm just sent in $20 for NetGeo. So now we're at 60. I haven't even showed you guys the video yet. Don't you guys want to see the video first? I tried to get a hold of both of those guys, but I couldn't get a hold of them. I've talked to them both already. I've texted back and forth with them. And so sorry if I'm a little bit disoriented because, okay. Let's pull up his video just real quick, and then we'll take a look at that. And then if you guys can, I need 25 people with $20. 25 people with $20. That's what I'm looking for right now. And then I'm going to show you guys my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. And when we get to 500, we're going to stop. And this fundraiser will be over. So I'm just pulling this up. I had his page pulled up earlier. And then I closed all the pages so that I could. Okay, so here's his page right here. I found it. Let me share it with you guys what I'm looking at. This is a fundraiser for XXGO. I don't even remember the gentleman's real name, but he's an as you guys can see, hopefully let me see what you're looking at. Okay. He's an activist. He films police. That's what he does. And any person who does this work and they get arrested in the course of their duties, I believe with the channel and a crowd of people that we should crowdfund this guy. I think we should crowdfund him. So, I mean, look, his body of work is extensive. It's not like he went out there and he just grabbed a camera and was jerking around one day. We're doing a $500 fundraiser for a guy who puts in the work. He puts in the work. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work holding public officials accountable. That is a lot. That is a body of work right there. So, okay, cool. Let's go to the top of his videos and see if we can find the video that he got arrested. It was on somebody else's channel. It wasn't on this channel. Let me check the chat and see if anybody here What is up? The money is for his bail. He had a $500 bail, so we're raising $500 for his bail money. That's what it's for. And I was hoping I could get one of these guys in. I got someone going off on text message. So let's see if no, he's out of jail. XXGO, is that you? Yo, is there a way to bring you on, man? Is there a way? Can you text me? Dr. Sean Barry has my number, and you can also email me. There's XXGO. Let's bring him on. Can you drop the link in the chat real quick? Let me go to YouTube and make you a moderator real fast, XXGO, so that you can drop the link in the chat. Okay, cool. There you go, XXGO. Drop the link in the chat, any links you have of you being arrested, so that we can show the people why we're doing the fundraiser for you. And, we're going to send the money over immediately. But I've done this for a lot of people. This is probably maybe my 100th fundraiser, somewhere in there. I should actually keep track of how many I've done. And I do this the same way every time. I collect all the money, I set the goal amount, and I will sit here and drive home the point of why you should donate $20 towards someone you don't know, because he is doing the freedom fighting that we all have to do. He's holding these cops accountable. And so, people who hold the police accountable, we need to support those people. And so, oh shoot, I took down my own. So let me see if you guys can see. There it is. Cool. There's my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. I'll show you where those are at right now. Okay, cool. So this is PayPal's now at $139. PayPal's at $139, and we haven't even seen XXGO's video yet. So already, Chevy Bucks. What's going on, Chevy? Thank you, Anthony Lee. Thank you so much for donating. I appreciate it. Let me check my Cash App. $20 from Campbell Farms. Trying to get to the main home screen here. Okay, can I see it? God bless America. Well, we're still at $20 on Cash App. And then on Venmo, let me check Venmo. And I'll show you guys his arrest video in 1 second, where he gets arrested for waving a sign. XXGO, I hope there's a way to bring you on this live stream. That would be absolutely amazing. That would be absolutely No, I'll send you the link, but I don't know how to get a hold of you. I don't know how to reach you, XXGO. I only know how to reach Dr. Barry, Dr. Sean Barry. So, but let's take a look at a couple of his videos real quick.
That's a complaint. We were out there. Start making demands. I want them out of here. I want them all gone. The center island, right? I measured the center island, and I guess the new captain came out to measure the center. He said it was about an inch short, so inch half short. Where I measured it was exactly 6 foot, and bookbinder on record on statement said it was 6 foot. He measured it. He said that the warning citation that he got was not applicable to us. On film, he wrote it a thing out here, just so he would have it on it. You were out there at the time. The sergeant, the female sergeant, and the 3 officers arrested him. When he looked at it,
who was out there at the
time? There were 2. You were out there at the time. Well, there was a plainclothes person who walked up and said he was the police chief. Stood in between.
That was Chief, probably maybe Chief Falcon.
Okay, yeah. Well, he stood right in between the 3 officers, and I thought it was kind of odd. Why would a citizen come up and stand between 3 officers and start making demands? I want them out of here. I want them all gone. Type of thing.
Anyway, I want them out of here. I want them all gone.
By telling me I can't be there. it seemed like it was because of that event that's going on. They have an event right there in the square. We were right there by in the corner.
Right.
Anyway, our right for Chille, he was arrested. You can see where from the arrest what they did to Chille. And they mocked him because of his disability, wouldn't let him have his voice learned. So handcuffed him behind his back and beat him.
That's enough information on that.
Oh, yeah, sir. But anyway, that's a complaint I made. The chief was there, Chief Balkan. Okay, Chief Balkan was there. He made demands that we all get out of there. We leave now. And I said, we have express. No, you don't. You don't have permission to do that. I said, we have express permission from the bookbinder to be here. He said that ordinance does not apply to us. So we have that.
Well, I don't know that an ordinance can not apply to everybody. Either it applies to everybody or not anybody.
Yeah, but the median was 6 foot. He measured it himself. He said it was 6 foot. The ordinance says if the median is 6 foot or less or more, then it doesn't apply to them as far as First Amendment. In fact, there is no carve out in there for the First Amendment for that ordinance. So that makes it constitutional vague on its face. But anyway, that's a complaint.
So, hey, thank you, P. Rex. I appreciate your donation. David, thank you. I appreciate it. Campbell, thanks a lot. I appreciate you.
We were out there. I was ready to wrap it up. It was getting close to time for me to wrap it up. It was almost 6. And that's what time we bug out of there, 6. But anyway, he's going to be named on my complaint, his complaint. And the sergeant who stood there and made me pick up, our flags and our signs that we had sitting there. Well, your flag, your signs, yeah. And made me leave as well. I had my own flag and my own stuff. Made me leave under threat of arrest. She threatened to arrest me, so I didn't leave. So okay. I figured I'll let you know. I thought I saw stories. I didn't know if you was a police chief. The actual, you look similar to me a little bit, But he was in plain clothes, and I was under duress at the time.
I'm Lubiani.
And your badge.
I'm sorry?
Your badge.
Your badge number.
227.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we spoke to a lady right here about
cool.
He's hoping that we kind of an impromptu interview with him out here, several of us. And on the way in, he was coming out. And he said that the police chief is very good here with civil rights. And he said that they're not in the business of killing our rights or interrupting our rights. If we were out, we want to be out there. He said, as long as we're peaceful, he said, they're not going to bother us. So he said, but anyway, and I took him on his word at that, but several times.
So that's the complaint they filed right there. And this is Dr. Sean Berry's video. So there's no audio here. There it is.
I don't want the window blown out.
He went up.
They want to do that, everything else like that, even if it says whoever.
They're allowed to protest and all, but there's local ordinances.
Anyway, this captain here went up and grabbed his flag off a pole. And
Flag off the pole.
He
There's
grabbed.
nobody standing there. There was nobody standing there.
He grabbed his flag and damaged his flag. Just grabbed it.
So they picked the pole up and they said, "Put it down." I put it back down.
He damaged it.
So with our standing orders and stuff like that, even if it's saying that F-bombs and stuff like that, it's still a First Amendment right. So that they're
On the meeting.
Yeah.
Did you hear that right there?
Keep your hands to yourself, Captain.
So did you hear that right there? They're arguing about whether or not they're talking about it's a First Amendment right. Okay, so that for me triggers in my patriotism, my First Amendment right. So that's why I'm doing a fundraiser right now, because he's going to get arrested. They're going to arrest him, and it's going to cost him $500 to get out of the dungeon. So right there is my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal. Right now in Cash App, I have $45, and I have 2 phones, so I was going to go back and forth. Makes it a lot easier for me. And then in PayPal, there's 163 in PayPal. So 40, that's 200. I had 40 already that Alan Hub had sent me, and so did Greg, because I didn't think they could be here for the fundraiser. So we're at 240. So that means I need 260 more to replenish his money for him standing up for the First Amendment. So That's why I'm doing this fundraiser. That's why I'm collecting this money right now to send over to XXGeo, who will get arrested for doing a First Amendment protected activity. We want to support him and encourage him. What happens to freedom fighters, and you can see it, a lot of the freedom fighters who everybody loves, who are known in the first day community, a lot of them don't freedom fight anymore. They just review videos from behind a desk, because the freedom fighter gets worn down by the debt they incur by going out and flexing your First Amendment rights. And then you have to, it's 150 here, 500 there, 1,000 here. How much money do you think I spend? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unreal. So if you guys would please, there's my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal. I'm showing you guys the pay apps because when we get to $500, it's over. This fundraiser is over. And just put on there XXGeo. I'm just considering any money that comes in right now for him. Thanks, Anthony Lee. I appreciate it, man. So it would be great if you put, God bless you, Chevy. Thank you so much. It'd be great best if you put XXGeo on the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. That way because as you guys know, there's, hundreds and hundreds of people turning me in for saying, I don't pay my taxes or something. That's always the threat of the people who are bootlickers. We're going to get you for taxes. It's horrible, but it's true. So I need to raise another $260. Let's keep going. Let's watch a little bit more before he gets arrested here.
So that's what I understand.
They can put whatever they want on their vehicles. This is public property.
Yeah. So it's just
That's why we're allowed to do it. That's why we're allowed to do it.
It's not a law.
They're not allowing us to do it. We're doing it because it's their First Amendment right to do so.
There it is right there. He said it again. They're doing it because it's their First Amendment right to do so. That's exactly why I'm doing the fundraiser for this guy right now, so that he'll keep on doing it, so he doesn't get whittled down. I need 25 people with $20. That's what I need to get this done. $5, $10, $15. Let's support this freedom fighter.
Everybody
had a briefing about
right. Well, everybody's afraid to step in and tell them that this is wrong, but we're allowing it because they're allowing.
He's not allowing us to do it. We're doing it because it's our right to do so.
There it is.
It's wrong.
We're allowing you to have your job. That's what we're allowing.
People over for having things on their car, vulgarity, nudity, stuff like that.
And they have all got sued.
On the car.
And they've all got sued. Ask it. They've all got sued. He'll tell you.
They got sued by
They got sued.
That's why
It's insane.
that's
But yeah,
insane.
no matter where I stand on it, they stand on it.
That's insane. What are you talking about? That's why we do what we do, so that we can eventually sue you. You have to be sued because you are a jackboot thug pig. I'm so sorry. There's names I was missing in Venmo. Dan, I got 1 second. Let me pause this real quick. Dan Hanlon, as usual. Thank you so much. Dan S. Thank you for donating just now. I appreciate that on Venmo. Victor, thank you so much, dude. As usual, just always coming through. James, thank you so much for coming through for this perfect stranger who you don't even know, who is standing up for our First Amendment rights. So now we are at $70 on Venmo. We're at $45 on Cash App. And on PayPal, we are still at we're at 183. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're at 183. So 70, there's 250 plus 45, 295. Plus I had that 40 from Alan and Greg. So we're at $340. We're $160 shy, $160 shy. Let's close it. Let's get it. So that means we need 8 people with $20. I need 8 people with $20, and we can round out this fundraiser and watch some, because I don't think they catch his arrest, but we're going to see if do they catch your arrest, XXGeo? I can't remember if we actually saw you get arrested, because I watched this already. I covered it when it happened to you. you know, and God bless you, XXGO, for standing up for our First Amendment rights. You know, keep doing it. We're gonna raise that. We're gonna get to that $500, Geo. We're gonna get to the 500. We're gonna get your money back to you, dude. You know, you stood up for us. I mean, I'm just, if you're not passionate about your rights, then you're probably not around, or you probably just don't have any money. So share the screen, you know, reach out to friends and family and tell them to jump in right now. Because one time I said this to someone and they reached out to someone and that person came in with like $2,000. Do you guys remember that? That's so crazy. She said, well, I said to the crowd, I said, listen, if you don't have any money, and this is a small fundraiser, we've done fundraisers for several $1,000s in the same day. And so I was doing a fundraiser one day and we were just it was kind of stagnant. We didn't have any money. It was a small little group like this, just a couple hundred people. And I said, so reach out to friends and family. And this woman in the crowd said, you know, and she wasn't even a regular on Team DLZ. And she said, let me reach out to my uncle. And she reached out to her uncle, and her uncle literally put $2,000. And this is when I was still raising money. When I still had a channel of like, you know, 20 or 30,000 subscribers, you know, so it's pretty crazy. Okay. So XXG, I'm still at 183 on PayPal. Let's watch a little bit more of this video and we'll come back to fundraising. So that's the whole controversy right there, is that he's on that little 4-foot strip, that he had already had permission. So that's the whole controversy right there.
We were out there.
And now I'm going to go back to Dr. Sean Berry's videos. Which video is it? He said go to one. Which one of these videos is it? Dr. Sean Berry. Can you drop me that link, Dr. Sean Berry? I don't know which one of your videos it is. By the way, if you guys ever contact me and say, hey, you got to see this video, it's on this person's page, I will say, send me the link, or I'm not going to do it. And this is part of the reason, because like I have no idea which video it is of him getting arrested. There's so many videos, you know, there's so many videos. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. So it's 1 month. Could it have been on the live? Is that when it was? That's 11 days ago. That's 3 days ago. That's after he got out. Jailhouse protest. Just arrested without warning.
Hey, folks.
PayPal's still at.
Without complaints complaints officer, the captain down at the police department, Captain Bookbinder, expressed permission to be where we were standing. Yep. Gio was just arrested about a half hour ago by the Ocala Police Department. We had express permission from Captain Bookbinder to be where we were standing. And of course, we have First Amendment right to protest, redress, whatever. They rolled up on him without warning and arrested him. There were 2 officers, a sergeant, and the chief of police came down just to show his ass. He was dressed in plain clothes. He identified himself as the chief of police of the Ocala Police Department.
Okay, so this is not the arrest video, though. So it must be here. Captain and ran me off, so.
Okay.
So is this after?
All right.
Grab your flags.
Okay.
Grab your flags. Is this the arrest right here? No, this must have been before the arrest. He's taking care of himself. What sure would be great if Dr. Sean Berry texts me the link. That'd be great. Maybe this is it.
Your ordinance says 5 feet, 5 foot median.
I'm sorry?
Your ordinance says a 5 foot area for median. This is 6 foot median. We measured this at 6 foot. I've got a couple pictures of it for evidence. So 6 foot from asphalt to asphalt. Yeah, but anyway.
New ordinance, I don't think it has that.
Yeah, but anyway, we're protesting under the First Amendment, so we're.
Well, we need your ID.
Why is it needed to provide ID for?
Citation
Citation? What citation?
for the violation of the city ordinance.
What?
Oh, okay. So at that point, just so you guys know, I'll let you know. You have to provide your identification. You guys have seen me do it on camera several times. It's the law is the law. It's not. It is what it is in this specific regard. The Fourth Amendment is there can be no arrest without probable cause. If he can cite a statute, that's why the name of this channel is Delete Laws, because if there's a law in the books, there's a cop ready to enforce it. So if he's going to cite you with a statute or a code, you have to allow him to do that. That's the law. So I haven't seen this. Obviously, it took us forever to find it. So let's see what happens.
What ordinance?
The one I just told you about.
We have.
So, I'll go back so you guys can hear it. If he says he's going to cite you with an ordinance, you have to give him your ID.
Why is it needed to provide ID for?
Citation
Citation? What citation?
for the violation of the city ordinance.
What ordinance?
The one I just told you about.
We have two sergeants came out. Two sergeants came out, and we spoke with the
Your name is Boss. Do you want that? Can you understand what he's saying, sir? I'm sorry.
He said put his name down as the boss.
Oh, no,
The fucking boss, I believe, is the first.
We need the actual ID, sir.
Yeah, he does actually.
If you don't give us your ID,
He can. No, then you're going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail. And he does. I mean, the cop was going to be nice. Is he going to slap torture cuffs on him? Or is he going to let him walk over and say you're under arrest?
I'll take those. I'll take them. Just when you get across the street over here, I'll get them from you. Come out and get these.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. This is the nicest cop I've ever seen. I've never seen a cop this nice ever who's arresting you. I've never seen it. So he gets arrested right there, I'm pretty sure. So a couple things here. Right now we're doing a fundraiser for this guy who just got arrested. He flexed his First Amendment rights. I'm not sure exactly what his charges were because we haven't spoken yet, but I don't know what the charges were against him, but let me just tell you. So from my perspective, what probable cause is and understanding of probable cause, when they're going to cite you with a code or an ordinance, then you have to give them your identification. You guys have seen me do it on camera with them back and forth several times. Apple Valley, when they pulled me over, they said I have to give. So anyway, but he was still flexing his First Amendment rights. Now he can beat the rap, the charge, but he can't beat the ride. He still had to take the ride. So essentially what we're trying to do is soften that blow. And I'm still at 70 on Venmo. I'm still at 45 on Cash App and on PayPal. We got to get to 500. We got to get to 500. So I need people to jump in the fight right now. If you would, pretty please. We're at 183 on PayPal. So we're 183 on PayPal, and on Venmo we're still at 70. So I need more people to jump in the fight. You guys saw the arrest. XXGO is in the crowd. Every dime, every single penny, even if there's fees from me, I'm going to send every dime right now. We're at $70 on Venmo. Thank you guys so much for donating. I appreciate it. And then on Cash App, I am at 45. So 115 and 163, 183 is about 300. And then I've got 40 from Greg and Alan. So that's about 340. I'm still about 160 shy. 160. I need $160 more. So that means I need 8 people with $20 right now to donate for this feller who just got arrested.
First, we need the action.
Whether or not he's incorrect, whether XXGO is incorrect in his assessment of the law at this point, when he's standing there with his First Amendment right, he had been told previously by the previous chief that he was allowed to protest there. And so he has 2 different cops telling him 2 different things. And so he stood in the face of adversity and he got arrested. So all we're doing, he's not making money. We're covering his cost of bailing out of the dungeon. And so
If you don't, your name's boss, be like that. Can you understand what he's saying, sir? I'm sorry.
He said put his name down as the boss.
Oh, no,
The fucking boss, I believe, is first.
We need the actual ID, sir. If you don't give us your ID, they have to arrest you. I don't want
to I'm dying to know from Dr. Barry or XXGO, is that how they arrested you, dude? Y'all, this is a fundraiser to cover the cost for right now. So open up your phone right now, open up your Cash App, your Venmo, your PayPal, and send me $20 right now. I only need 8 more people. I need 8 more people. There's 150 people here. It's Halloween night. You're not spending money on the kids. Break out your $20 right now. Let's cover this guy's fees. That way I can stop begging. I don't want to sit here and beg on Halloween. I want to get some chocolate. Let's cover this dude's costs. Let's cover his costs. I don't want to fail at reaching a goal. I want to reach the goal. Oh, you finally text me, Dr. Barry? Wow. That's great. Oh, I got that. I'll send you a link, Dr. Barry, to bring you on NXXGO so that you guys can tell your story. So that XXGO is going to be hard to understand, but you can translate very well. So let's bring you guys on so that hopefully this goes through. Hopefully you get iMessages. If you don't, I will text this to myself. And then I'll text it to you from my phone. And if you want to come on, then you can tell your story. But it makes it a lot easier for me because then there's the person here who it's their story. It's their story. It's not my story. I don't know either one of you. I'm not a big political supporter of the left or the right. I don't support Republicans. I don't support Democrats. I'm not for either party winning. I'm going to vote third party no matter what because I'm not for this broken frickin' duopoly and I'm not a part of it. I'm not going to play into it. It's not what I'm going to do. You can forget it. I'm not playing your game and saying, oh, this guy's better than this one. Fox is so much better than CNN. CNN is so much better than Fox. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same dog shoot. I lost my cool earlier and I screamed and cursed and said the F word. And so, Dr. Sean Berry, I texted you the link to come on to the live stream. Let's see where we are financially because I set a goal for 500 and I really want to get to that goal. We're so close. We're 360. We're 360. I'm still at 70 on Venmo. Let's check this is, we got to get there. We absolutely have got to get there. There's no reason in the world why we can't get there. I'm still at 183 on PayPal. And then let me check Cash App real quick here. Cash App. I'm still at 45 on Cash App. I have not successfully raised another $1. I have not successfully raised another $1. And I need to raise $160 more. That's how much has to happen. It's I mean, I guess because XXGO is not in the dungeon now, it kind of makes us like, he's out of jail. They got him out. He's fine. But it's just like, it's a big burden on you. It's a heavy burden on you. It really is. If Dr. Sean Berry, if you're going to come on, make sure you set yourself up, get your camera set up and put a light behind the camera and make sure that you're in good sound. Or, if you're not going to use your camera, then turn your camera off, but otherwise make sure that you're ready. I'm doing a fundraiser right now for this guy that got arrested, flexing his First Amendment rights. Whether he was right or wrong, he was flexing his First Amendment right. So I want to support him and I want to raise the $500 it cost him to get out of jail. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing right this second. So there's my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. We're about 340 now. Boom. I just got $20. Boom. Just got $20 just came in on Cash App. There it is right there. $20 just came in on Cash App. We're at $65 on Cash App now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Ray, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you believing in the dream, baby. Believe in the dream of crowdfunding activists. Believe in that because we need you. We absolutely need you. We need your help. We need to crowdfund. Dawn, I don't take a single penny. As a matter of fact, Dawn, last year I donated thousands and thousands of dollars to people. How about you? How about you, Don? How much money did you donate to anybody last year at all? And the money that we donated collectively over the past couple of years since I've been on YouTube is, we're probably over $100,000 at least, easily, probably over $100,000 to people we've raised money for. So many different people. I've started a nonprofit. I just haven't finished it because it's $1,500 to finish the nonprofit, to finish paying for it. And, so yeah, you know it, buddy. You know it. Thank you so much for coming by. I do appreciate you, man. God bless you. If you do something nice for someone else, just remember there's always going to be people who hate your guts. There's nothing you can do about it. If it's Halloween, I would rather, I'd rather do something else. But, there's only so many hours in the day and the week. I don't have any kids. So I'd love to go see the kids who are going to be dressed up tonight, but it's 8:00 now, so they're going to be winding down pretty soon anyway. So, let's help out. Let's help this guy out who was flexing his First Amendment right. Let's help him out. So I got 65. I got 65 now on Cash App and on PayPal, on Venmo. I'm still at 70, and on PayPal, yes, 212. So I'm at 212 on PayPal. Yes, we're getting closer. 212 on PayPal, 70 on Venmo, so that's 282. And then on Cash App, 65 on Cash App. Thank you, Rod. I appreciate it, man. Hey, I appreciate you too, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Scott, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you for putting XXGO on there. I appreciate that. So 212, 70s, 282, 65 is 345 about. And then 40s, 385. $40 is 220s from Greg and Alan that they sent in before the live began. So 345, 385. So we're at 385. We are $115 short. Yep. I actually need a pen and like to write this down when I'm live and doing math. So XXGO, dude, we're so close, man. We are so close. XXGO. 70, 130, 340. Right. So we're at $385 right now. We're at $385 right now. Yo, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Dr. Sean Berry, are you ready to come on? Are you ready, my friend? Are you ready, amigo? Let me know when you are all settled down and I will bring you on. There we go.
Okay.
Dr. Sean. So you were there when this all went down. You saw it all happen.
Yeah, the video you were showing was just some of the harassment leading up to this. That was a week prior to Gio's arrest. Some of the behavior you saw of the police officers showing up trying to chill our rights, that was just par for the course. That's what we were facing.
What town is this? What city, state are you guys located in?
We're in Ocala, Florida, right in the middle of the state. So,
yeah, I've actually seen a lot of videos of the cops in Ocala, Florida.
Yeah,
you got some real a-hole cops there, huh?
We really do. Yeah. It's pretty bad here. You know how the situation is about the attorneys. We don't have any here. They flee the state. We have plenty of slip and fall attorneys, but no civil rights attorneys here. What to speak of?
I mean, so just to speak on that for a second, Sean. I've sued so many cops, and the judges work against us.
Of course, yeah.
The federal judges and SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, works completely against us.
It's the just us system anymore. It's leading up to. It seems like it's leading up to a fascist police state. It's par for the course. Yeah.
I think we're in a fascist police state. I think they can arrest you for anything. They can make mistakes. They can make. There's the Supreme Court. I mean, I hope you watch this next series I'm going to teach on the effects of the law of Terry versus Ohio, but constitutional law scholar, because this is really going to take people on a journey and understanding the Supreme Court is just evil. It's inherently been an evil organization that has screwed us. So what happens? Let me do what I do with people. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we saw the video, but you're down there. The cops come out. There's been this kind of ongoing bigger pencil contest going on for a while, right?
Yeah.
Where they're trying to flex their rights, their law on you. And then you're down there. And when the cops come up and when the cop says, "Hey, we saw the video all the way up to where I'll show it again, where all the way up to where he gets arrested." And
the video you showed was a video of a week ago, not the actual arrest. He ultimately, they gave him another chance. He gave his ID at that point. They gave him a warning citation.
Which video is it?
The last one you showed where he presented his arms for arrest.
What's the name of the video where he gets arrested, though?
That's not on my channel. That's on Gio's channel. It was a live stream. I sent you a link, a link on the text message.
But it was a live stream. Then I should be able to. It was 4 days ago. It should be this one, right?
Yeah, that was it. If you advance to time frame, 1 hour, 18 minutes. We were actually getting close to packing up and leaving at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite a while into it, 1 hour and 18 minutes into this video. So
we're there now. It's at 1 hour, 17 minutes and 45 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, leading up to this, we saw a couple people videoing us across the street, and I found out it was a police chief. Behind me, immediately behind the camera, there's a venue where the police chief is about ready to have a police event. And we didn't know that. We knew there was something going on, but, we didn't know exactly what it was. And he apparently didn't want anybody interrupting his event.
I see.
In which he was going to be the MC to it, being the chief himself.
So this is a fundraiser for XXGO. We're doing a $500 fundraiser. Please send me $5, $10, $20. We're almost done with the fundraiser. We're about $115, $120 short. So if you would please right now, just donate $5, $10, $50. We're $115 short. Here comes the cops to arrest him. We're so close to the goal. Please jump in right now. Throw in $10, $20 right this second. Just do it. And Dr. Sean Barry, so right here, are they pulling a car up? Okay, I see what they're doing. They're pulling a car up to put him in the car.
Yeah.
So they planned it. They had someone
I go across the street. I had to remind them not to handcuff him behind his back because of his disabilities.
Right.
We're going to allow him to be transported in a dangerous. He could drown with the disability he has through the hole in his neck.
Oh, really? He could drown.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Quite easily.
Oh, and did you tell them that, and then they didn't? They didn't.
Yeah. Fortunately, they were willing to handcuff him in the front, but they had to be told.
That great big cop who said, "Okay, you're under arrest. Come over here." That was the nicest way I've ever seen anybody say that you're getting arrested. I've never seen a cop not attack somebody viciously. I mean, I've seen nonviolent arrests happen. Torture cuffs are always torture, but never have I seen the cops say, "Come on, come over here." I've never seen that.
Yeah, they were nice because of the camera. However, we pulled the body cam footage and they made some snarky remarks, quite nasty, remarks about it. So
they don't like you flexing your freedom.
No. When the camera's not on them, they'll and in fact, it's what they did when Gio was arrested. XXGOX was arrested. They basically what they did was they mocked him. They refused his voice communications device, which effectively left him without the ability to make a phone call or even communicate any distress he might be in to the jailers. He tried to use sign language to communicate with the jailers. They took that as a threat, and they handcuffed him behind his back again, which further restricted his ability to communicate. And they pinned his stoma against the floor, and effectively trying to George Floyd him.
No way.
Yeah,
that happened to him in jail just recently.
In jail, yeah, in the Marion County jail, yeah. When I encountered him, when we got him out in the morning before daylight, he was in a very bad state. He is bloodied, open sores on his bony areas of his elbow. His wrists were bruised and open sores on those. He looked like a beat down puppy. I felt sorry for the guy, and I was angry at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very bad. He was trying to communicate without a voice at all, communicate and trying to use sign language, and this little sawed off psychopath of a jailer beat him down. If we can't waterboard in this country here, why should we be able to hold somebody down and try to choke them to death? And our tax money is paying for all that.
It's just terrible.
So everybody's got a story, but when you're behind the bars, you hear a lot of sob stories, and it's true. A lot of it's true.
Oh, I mean that's the whole thing, my friend. Is I tell people all the time that that when you go behind the bars, it is something that if you have not been locked away where your freedom is snatched from you and you're put in these little brick rooms with little steel benches and you're circulated throughout this jail. They take you from one room to another room. Every time there's kind of different dudes in each room. Sometimes it's really chill. Sometimes there's someone screaming and yelling. And then as they take you from room to room, you're not allowed to look at another human being. You have to look down at the ground, look down at a line. Don't look up. Don't look at me.
Walk on the right side of the hallway. You have to learn these rules as you go, and you're no longer a human being. You're a serf. You're subject to whatever whim this person who's all of a sudden in charge of you. If they have a bad day or good day, that's what you're under.
That's right. It's surreal. And the other thing is the amount of discomfort that they put you in.
Oh yeah.
Everything's made out of steel or concrete, and there's no pillow. There's nothing that's soft in any way, shape, or form. And they'll deny you medications if you need medications. You sometimes don't get a toothbrush or soap. It's the way that you're supposed to go to the bathroom, how you're just supposed to go poop in the middle of a room in front of 20 or 30 other guys.
And the filth I've experienced in 2 or 3 of the jails, I've been arrested a few times myself. The filth is unimaginable.
It's unimaginable.
The stench, it hits your nostrils when you go into the booking area. That's where you encounter it, and it's inhuman.
The way they do the temperature, whether it's bone chilling, freezing cold, or burning hot, just so freaking hot. Can't believe how hot it is. And then one time I was in jail and a fight broke out and they came in and they sprayed chemical spray at the people fighting. And the entire cell block, we were all coughing and gagging and wheezing. And what am I in for? I didn't pay a traffic ticket. And now I'm in
arbitrary, where they used to have to issue a warrant for your arrest. Now it's just any probable cause will do.
Any not even probable cause. It's gone
reasonable, not even reasonable suspicion anymore. Yeah,
they don't have Devin
Billings enforcement.
2004 Devin Peck versus Alford. They don't even have to have probable cause to arrest you. They can just arrest you. Everybody can look that up. 2004. I'm not going to do constitutional law tonight, but Devin Peck versus Alford, 2004. No probable cause even required. Supreme Court said they're our daddies. They're our daddies in charge of our civil liberties. So this just happened to Gio recently, this abuse you're talking about right now?
It happened. He was arrested Friday evening, and that occurred during booking. I tried to get him out a little earlier, tried to get his bond. They said because they put him in the infirmary, I guess after they beat him, they put him in the infirmary. And of course, they weren't going to finish the booking process until it was after midnight before I was able to get him out.
Those same cops beat on him?
They beat on him, yeah. They threw him down. He has open sores on his elbows and wrists and bruises up and down his body.
Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me. So I saw them be gentle as kittens on the street.
No. That was the jailers. That beat on it.
Okay, so when he was going into the jail, what happened? This recently, just 2 days ago, he was being put into the jail. And what did the jailers do exactly?
the jailers denied his voice modulator, his voice device he speaks with,
Right.
so he couldn't communicate. So he knows quite a bit of sign language. He had to learn that on the fly, I guess, after his, he's been disabled for several years without a voice.
Sure.
So he tried to use some sign language to communicate, and they saw the movement of his hands in communicating, trying to communicate as a threat. And they handcuffed him behind his back.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's not. He's disabled. He can't be handcuffed. He has a stoma, and he could drown. Fluid comes up through that stoma. So they handcuffed him behind his back, and he tried to his best to, because you're going to die if you don't you can't clear that out. You'll drown. So of course he became frantic, and they threw him on the ground, and they put their foot in his back, further pinning his stoma against the floor. His stoma where he couldn't breathe. This is like waterboarding somebody. Imagine why we don't allow waterboarding as a torture in the United States, even under conditions of the military is not allowed to use it.
Right.
Now essentially you're waterboarding somebody. You're George Floyding them to death.
So they put him on the floor and they're stepping on him so how does this, how long is he on the ground for? How does this come to an end?
Well, he said he wasn't on the ground very long. He said, but he was on the ground long enough where he was choking for breath. And apparently this person, it must not have been their first time dealing with somebody with his condition, because this person, there were two people that picked him up by his arms. He was handcuffed behind his back. They threw him against a wall, and they started doing the same thing against. There was a plexiglass wall. And then they were also put their hand right in the middle of his back, in a spot up by his neck to make sure that it was pressed, because this was intentional if they did it twice.
Well, I mean,
took him off. And as he was gasping for air, he didn't want me to, I'm going to, this is my friend George. He got kind of emotional at this point here. He said they mocked him and said he sounded like a cat. The noises he made that was coming out of his stoma as he was trying to gasp he said he thought his life was going to end right there. He's 61 years old. He thought he was going to come to an end at that point. They held him there for quite an extended period of time, and they even kicked him along his backside with their shin and their knee, sort of a martial arts move where they use the shins as martial arts. He has bruises on his backside, and yeah.
I believe you. 100%. I know it. I've seen it. I've seen how guards massively abuse people behind the wall.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: they had cameras, but we'll never get them.
You can try to get them. They'll delete them. They'll erase them. They'll change them. You guys, this is a fundraiser. Right down here are the pay apps. We're only raising $500. We're pretty close. I think we're just about $100 to go. So if you guys would please, 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks. This is a fundraiser for XXGO. He's describing what just happened to him in the jail.
Yeah, Gio, I love you, buddy. But I had to get this out off my chest. I know you told me not to let some of this get out right here, but I couldn't. I became angry and it was emotional when I saw it myself. He told me about it, and that's before we went on camera and let everybody know he was out. So, and our taxpayer, my tax money pays for that to happen to the citizens. Who knows what goes on behind these bars?
So, how does this end? How does the abuse of him being cuffed behind the back with his condition? How does that? Do they eventually just take him out of the torture cuffs? How long do they leave him like that for?
They threw him in the infirmary. I guess after they gave him a good beating, they threw him in the infirmary, and that's what took so long to get him out of there. I bonded him out. And they released him 6 hours later, or about 5 hours later.
Oh, so this is your $500 I'm raising back.
Well, yeah, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. But he's
okay. So this is who the money is going to.
He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the money, and he lives on. Because of his disability, he lives on SSI, which is a pittance.
So then we're replenishing your money, man, so you can get him out again if he does it again.
I can live without it. This is is money that I have, and I was glad to get the man out. And
Yeah.
and I didn't know what they were doing to him back there. They told me that they put him in the infirmary, but I didn't know what was going on. They wouldn't
Oh,
tell me
that's
any
pretty
information.
scary to hear. Pretty scary to
Yeah.
hear that you say, "Hey, where's my friend?" and they say he's in the infirmary.
Yeah, they said he's actually they said he wasn't cooperating, which I thought they took him in off the street while he was protesting. So I assumed that he was just carrying on his protest. In the jail. I'm not going to cooperate. I'm not going to provide you my vitals. My statistics or whatever. But no,
Right.
I didn't know. I didn't suspect that they would beat him in there, but they did.
Oh,
So
I mean, it doesn't surprise me one single bit. I recently when I was arrested in Las Vegas for filming Police,
yeah, I heard
and
about that. It's ridiculous. What they can do.
that while in the dungeon behind the walls, they keep you shackled to the chairs the whole time you're going through the booking process. You're shackled 24/7 to the chairs, so your wrists are
For for
always
for, for your comfort, right?
just for your
Yeah,
safety and
for,
theirs.
for your comfort. Yeah,
And
comfort of
and
the state.
and
Yeah.
and my wrists got just gnawed gnarly from the torture cuffs, and the guy a couple chairs down had fallen asleep, you know, and the guard came over, and when he didn't just grab him, he his popped, and then when he did that, he grabbed his clothing, and you could hear the clothing the fibers tearing, and the guy's asleep, and he's waking. He's waking, and the guy said, "I told you not to fall asleep in here."
That
And
sounds like some sort of a Soviet torture.
I was like, I know my place behind the wall is I become a body bag. My job is to shut the front door, put my eyes down, shut up, and get through this,
Keep your
because
eyes down and get through it. Yeah.
I still see it. And my job is to live through this experience, because jail's different. They can kill
People,
you.
people die there. They do. Sociopaths, psychopaths. They gravitate just like a pedophile towards schools. They'll gravitate towards these jobs where they have total and complete, absolute control over an individual without cameras, without any accountability. They get full immunity in a lot of cases. These jailers.
Johnson versus Glick, 1980. If anybody wants to listen to the oral arguments in Johnson versus Glick, 1980, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a preview and I'll show that, because it's pretty disgusting. The Supreme Court, once again, the guards can keep order in jail. So
Yeah,
if
have
you're
that.
causing disorder, well, you can be dealt with. And
Oh,
if you die,
you throw in a little officer safety on that for seasoning, then you've got a recipe for disaster.
Terry versus Ohio applies
Yeah.
also to jail guards as well.
Oh, they have to go home at night, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
While you are locked, shackled, being fed grade D food, they are going home to sleep on a pillow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
That's the most important thing. That's their religion now.
it's
Officer safety.
it
All
so
praise,
that's
officer
why,
safety.
Dr. Sean Berry, I'm glad I hope you get to watch this next thing I'm doing, Constitutional Law Scholar, because I'm showing how many cases, it's dozens, it's so many cases that I had to say, you know what, I really can't put any more cases on the wall without this looking just like it's it's all words, and there's so many cases that are just based on the cop and them being safe.
Yeah, that's the new religion.
Them being safe. They've
Yeah.
got to be safe. They got to be safe. And so I'm showing it. I'm going to teach it. It's such a lot to teach. I have to have case briefs on the wall because there's so many cases. There's so many hundreds of cases that are based on officer safety first. Over whatever happens to you, Dr. Barry, doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah, they have immunity for that. That's a vaccine for that. It's immunity.
Well, I can tell you how much we raised to get some of your money back, because I don't keep a dime of fundraiser money. I just, at the end of the day, I have to look myself in the face, and people are like, "Why do you do it?" Why wouldn't I do it? I should be doing exactly what I'm doing for as many people as I possibly can. I wish I could make it my life, but I can only do so many fundraisers for so many people. So I got $80 over here, $80. And so let me thank the last person who donated. Was
Yeah,
that?
this is a rough time of the month too. People are a lot of people are on fixed incomes, and this is a Tuesday.
Thanks,
If
Dan.
your money's spent by Monday. If you get paid on a Friday, it's already gone by Monday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. Text me your Cash App, your Venmo, or your PayPal, where I can send this money back to you. Or as much
well, I greatly appreciate it. I don't need the money back, but yeah, Gio is he feels very
give,
badly because he can't repay me, and I don't need to be repaid. So
give it to Gio.
yeah. So anyway,
I don't care what you do with the money.
yeah. But that's why he feels very bad about it. I got him out of there. He didn't have a chance. He kind of chewed me out a little bit because he wanted to see the judge and get it knocked down a little bit. But I couldn't bear it. Especially when I found out that he was going in the infirmary. What's going on? So
Listen, this goes to everybody listening. Do not leave your loved ones in the dungeon.
no.
Figure out a way.
Every minute you're in there.
Dangerous.
Every minute you feel it. It's eats into your soul every minute, and it comes back on me a lot of times as a PTSD. I have a PTSD from the military, but this is bad. It's bad juju. You don't want to be in the dungeon.
It single-handedly one of the worst experiences I've ever had in life, ever, was
Mhm.
being in jail.
Yeah.
Which time? Every single time that I was locked away. For
Mhm.
every single moment that I
Yeah,
was
it is.
forced against my will to go into a room that was all concrete, they would shut the door. There's no clock on the wall. You have a little wristband. The guards come around every hour or every 10, 12, 20 hours, whenever they come around and say your name, and you get shuffled away to the next place until you get housed into a cage with a bunch of other people, where you'll be forced to join a gang if you're in a big city. You'll be forced to join a racial gang, or you'll be forced to join a conglomerate of people who form their own gang. There's all kinds of reasons why you have to join a gang. And then if you want to call loved ones or friends or family, you will pay for that. That will cost you dearly.
Oh, how about
$5
this?
a minute.
How about the puzzle you have to unravel every time that you want to make a phone call? You have to tap in numbers and to get money, anything. You have to go through this process, and they make it as difficult as humanly possible. You have to solve a Rubik's cube for each and every event. Phone call to get money, to make a purchase, anything.
You, and they're gouging money.
Oh
And if,
yeah.
and then if
And
you're
you-
in jail, Dr. Sean, and you say, and I want to send you $100, the jail might take 40, 50, or $60
Mhm.
of that and say, you get 40 or you get 50. We
Yeah, and
take
you never
that.
get that. If your family is foolish enough to send you, say, a good amount of money to last you, you'll never get that back. You know, they don't pay it back. It goes to wherever, you know, well, wherever that money goes to, somebody's getting rich, some politician.
It's called Civic Core. They're the prison company that makes the money. Civic
Yeah.
Core, or Core
Well,
Civic. That's what it's called. It's a
well,
blue
who's
chip
getting the
stock.
kickback? What politician? What person who was able to write
In
that
this,
into?
so
Yeah.
in the stock. So this is a Ronald Reagan thing. So in the 80s, when Ronald Reagan created 1982, Ronald Reagan created the for-profit prison system. And before he did that, he put a bunch of his people together to finance that and create this private entity that would be a for-profit prison system. And so all of his old producers, friends, all the people, they all got in on this. And so, of course, then, as you guys know, the popular story about Dianne Feinstein or Nancy Pelosi or one of these people inside stock trading. Well, in 1980, there was no cell phone, social media. There was no tracking your emails. And all of Reagan's cronies, all of his friends got in on this great big new thing that was coming for-profit prisons. And these companies are the ones doing it, and you should invest in these. And they invest in those companies, and of course, they then get government contracts that are millions and even billions of dollars. And that's how you get these companies, Axiom and Civic Core. That's how you get these multi-billion-dollar. The handcuff company. You often hear me talk about torture cuffs, getting rid of torture cuffs. Why can we can't get rid of? Why can't we? How come we can't even have a conversation about getting rid of torture cuffs? Those companies that make the torture cuffs, those are billion-dollar contracts. Those are billion-dollar contracts. So you have a very powerful special interest group that is going to lobby against the idea of moving to digital detainment, where people just agree to be detained because they're on camera. And there's basic studies like the Hawthorne effect that people will change their behavior once they know they're on camera. The majority of us good people don't want to be charged with a felony by the judge because we decided we wanted to just go walking off after we were under arrest.
Yeah, I've also noticed a different effect. The last time I was in jail, in the Volusia County Jail for self-defense, by the way, I was attacked by a security guard in the public lobby of a FEMA office. He attacked two other people besides myself. Anyway, I've noticed something different in the jail this time. There was they're deploying some sort of a ultrasound or something in there because this buzz kept going in my ear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sort of like what they're deploying in Cuba and on some of the diplomats. It's a something that buzzes in your ear. You can hear the continuous ringing in your ear, and it causes you to have this kind of like a deep-seated depression.
Wow,
I think it's yeah, there's something, I don't know what it is they're deploying, but I think it's very reminiscent of what they're doing to a lot of diplomats when they were there. They were in the embassies, and they caused them to have injuries.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about something like that. Yeah. So you think they're putting those into jails now?
Yeah, I think it's a low-level sound or ultrasound or something they're deploying to make jail even worse. You know, of course, they want to.
Is this conspiracy theory stuff, or are you serious?
That's my opinion. That's my opinion, okay. Because it's something different about this last time I was in jail, and I could hear that buzzing. I couldn't hear it before, but this time it was continuous the entire whole time I was in there. It's my opinion, though.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something that was.
Yeah, no.
Because when we first heard of stingrays, it was conspiracy theory. And then later we find out that they are indeed stingrays, and they use them, and they're going through our phones, and it has to stop. And the only way that can stop is if someone's governor, and then they can stop that in their state.
Well, that's a Socratic observation. You know, that's just what I found when I was in there, that this was continuous.
Well, and they don't have to make it depressing. You're locked in. Your liberty is stripped.
Of course,
your dignity is stripped. You can't have a piece of pizza. You can't call your friend. You can't turn on the television or change the channel. You can't even take a pee or a poop without making sure it's by committee and that you do it properly.
Oh yeah.
I almost got killed for going pee in the pooper. You only go poop in the pooper. You pee in the peer. Well, I pee in the pooper.
You got to learn the rules on the fly as you go under the school of hard knocks, literally.
I then had to agree to be a torpedo and be willing to attack another member of another gang that was in the black gang, because I was in the Latino gang that I had to join.
Fortunately, I wasn't in there long enough to be part of a gang. You know, I just had to get along until I could make bail to get out.
Oh, this happened in 7 days for me. It was a 7-day. I was in jail for 7 days, and I was in a gang within 2 or 3. I didn't have a choice. Not even 1 day. The next day, I was in a gang.
Yeah, most I've done. Fortunately, knock on wood, the longest I've been in was 2 days. But yeah.
I mean, I've done like 5 days, 7 days. I've done a series of like 3 or 4 days over a long weekend. but the longest I did was a week. And then the week period was my first time really being incarcerated for, especially charged with a bunch of felonies that I didn't do. And that was like, it was,
Yeah, those felonies when they're dangling over your head, that's a torture. Even when you're out, you're still however long, a year, however long, 2 years it takes for those to work through the court system.
it took a year, I think, of hearings and whatnot before we finally got down to a plea deal for a basic possession of a narcotic, which I did have that was legal the year before, and they criminalized it the next year.
Sounds like a lot of these ATF rules they have going on now.
Then I was a criminal because I.
Oh, you sound dropped out for a minute.
I was a criminal because I used a chemical that I'd used the exact same chemical 1 year previously. So it's just so frustrating. They create laws to create criminals.
That's it. They're actually they're everything we do is against the law. They create laws that they know people break or will break at some point. Just to create more revenue, create more criminals.
I covered a video earlier today. I wish I could follow it up. I've been thinking about it all day. This girl gets pulled over. She lets the cops search her car. They find a weed pen.
That's all that, yeah.
And they find a driver's license and fake driver's license, and they tell her that it's a felony when they're arresting her. I'd really love to know if they actually charge that 20-year-old girl with the next 60 years, 70 years in front of her life, if they actually charge her with a felony for having a fake ID to go to a bar.
It's an incentive for every bus these cops get. It's an incentive. I think it's actually a financial incentive as well.
Oh, I mean, the cops get more money for all kinds of things, but I just, in my heart and my soul, like I saw the video last night. I covered it today. When I covered it last night, when I woke up this morning, I was still thinking about it. Did they really charge her with a felony? And then I watched it again today, and I thought, did they charge it with a felony? And then after I got off the live, I'm trying to finish Constitutional Law Scholar, so it's really a lot of work. And I still couldn't stop thinking about it. Did they really charge young, beautiful 20-year-old girl?
Well, Chille, you and I both still have hearts. We have souls. These sociopaths, psychopaths that are cops, jailers, politicians in general. A lot of politicians don't have souls anymore.
Judges.
They're after power. They're after money. They're after power, and that is what they crave. They don't crave interactions, human interactions, other unless they can be dominant in the relationship. It's a survival tactic that goes back to the prehistoric man, but in today's society, they've developed sort of their own little roost. A king can kill 100,000 men, and have ice cream that evening, and it doesn't affect them because they're detached from any human emotions.
I did an audit the other night, and I was filming from probably, I don't know, 30 yards away, which I don't typically do, but it was really cold. I was wearing flip-flops. My hands were shaking. And so I just put my phone on top of the steel fence and I filmed it. And then I filmed the other phone facing me so I could talk about what I was looking at. And at one point, the cop had the guy in torture cuffs, and the guy was leaning up against the front of the SUV. He's facing the SUV, and he's in torture cuffs like this, right? And then the cop goes back and gets into the car. And so the scene is, I'm pictured from the side here, the side of a SUV, there's a guy in front of it in torture cuffs, leaning kind of halfway over the hood, looking up towards the windshield, and he's kind of mouthing something, he's trying to communicate like this. He's trying to say, I'm from North Carolina to the cop through the window. Right. And I'm picturing in my mind, the cop is sitting inside the car. There's a guy at the end of the hood of the car who I have put in torture cuffs. And he's looking at me with these big green eyes, trying to communicate with me as I have him shackled.
Trying to make some human connection. Yeah.
Right.
Help me. Help me.
I wouldn't be able to go home at night and sleep like I do.
Yeah.
I would be so effed up, dude. And so then you think about that, right? Like, because so then I interview the guy afterwards, right? And I'll let you watch the audit, but I interviewed the guy afterwards. There was no crime he committed. There was no like grab him and put him in torture cuffs crime. He went through a stoplight in North Las Vegas. The stoplights at night, the place is dead. There's nothing going on. It's North Vegas. If you walk around North Vegas, carry a gun. It's North Vegas, baby. Okay. So he had gone through the stoplight and didn't stop. He pulled him over for that. And I asked him, I said, "What, did you go barreling through there trying to, chase a car and beat him through?" He said, "Or was the road dead?" He said, "The road was completely dead." And he went through that as, you're traveling down the road on a bike at night. And the cop pulled him over and put him in torture cuffs immediately. I said, "Why did you have him in torture cuffs?" I looked at his wrists. His wrists were mangled. I was like, "Why did he do this to you?" He said, "I went through the stoplight without stopping on my bike."
Yeah. Yeah, this is all part of a police state. There's more going on here than what we're seeing around the edges, Back when I was a young man, this sort of thing would have been very rare, at least in some places. Now, if you were black or something, then
it was created for blacks, bro. This wasn't, this wasn't created for us. This was just for blacks. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that in the South here. That stuff's still around,
Oh, don't worry about it. It's just for them.
In general, though, that type of behavior would have been very rare. That probably would have been in the paper, especially if somebody were able to, knew somebody. It would have made the news. You had the worst you could have expected at that time would be a very pricey ticket with maybe $50-$60 ticket at the time, And none of this. We're going to pull you out of the car. We're going to search your car. That didn't exist.
Even during Prohibition, the 1925 Carroll versus the United States is what creates what's called the Automobile Exclusionary Rule. 1925 Carroll versus United States, called the Carroll Doctrine, RRL. And what the Carroll Doctrine says is that it creates the exigent circumstances clause that just add doctrines and clauses on top of everything, so it sounds more legitimate. And so now they add the exigent circumstances clause, which is the Carroll Doctrine, that says that the cops can search your car without a warrant in 1925 if there's going to be a loss of life. They're in fear that someone could lose their life here if they don't search your car without a warrant. If they're going to get banned contraband, that you have illegal alcohol in 1925. The reason they passed the Carroll Doctrine was to catch bootleggers who would hide the alcohol under the floorboards and all this stuff. So then the third one is if they say that they're in hot pursuit of you. So that comes from the Carroll Doctrine in 1925. Prohibition is ended with the 21st Amendment in 1933. We still have the Carroll Doctrine. So is it all part of a plan, Dr. Sean Berry? You bet your butt.
Yeah, but from what I've seen since the 80s, since the war on drugs, I say that's about when it's really started ramping up. This war on drugs is turned the police, and after 9/11, put fuel on the fire. Now cops can do no wrong. From there on out, they were all heroes. You could take a person out of the vehicle, you could beat them, put them on the hood of the car, and bash tape them right there in front of the public,
Oh,
and the entire and everybody would still say you're a hero.
Especially if they were black.
Oh yeah,
back then. Oh man, you could just destroy. I mean, the violence we see from police today is based on that they could just destroy black people in the streets all through the early 20th century. They could just destroy them. From Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896, where they say it's separate but equal. So if you went over and got water out of the good refrigerated white drinking fountain, then but if you went over to the black fountain and drank water out of that, which was a pipe sticking out of the ground, then the cops could just annihilate you in the streets, beat you senseless because you had violated the law. There was 2 different water fountains. You better use the right water fountain. But just to touch on what you were saying, Dr. Sean Berry. So, So this right here, this is the this is the prison chart right here. So let me move my microphone. My dog's down here. Look out, Charlie. Let me move a little bit. So right here, this is the prison chart, and the prison. Can you guys hear me? Okay. The prison industry begins here. This is Richard Nixon's war on drugs. Terry versus Ohio. You can look straight up there. Here's Terry versus Ohio here, 1968. When you drop down from Terry versus Ohio, this is how it's weird, how it's backwards for me. But when you drop down Terry versus Ohio, there's the prison population there, 350,000 people in prison. And then after they create this reasonable, articulable suspicion, and then you could get arrested for anything, then the prison industry with the war on drugs, the Omnibus Crime Bill, the 1968 Gun Control Act, which is in the 68 Omnibus Crime Bill, then look what happens to the prison industry. It just goes up like a rocket. And then when you get Reagan in here with his for-profit prison industry, and then you get Joe Biden's 1994 crime bill, I mean, you're just talking about the only reason that it peaks off here when Obama becomes president is because we have a shortage of being able to pay for people to be locked up. We have a prison shortage. We need more prisons if we're going to lock up this many people. And so right now, what are they trying to do? They're trying to build a billion dollar prison complex here in America. So to your point, Dr. Sean Berry, you see where and this is on my poster. It's on my website, Delete Laws, if you guys want to get it. But it's that you see what happens in 68, 71. It all starts right there with the war on drugs, to your point.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it in the demeanor and the I guess around qualified immunity around Terry versus Ohio, but I have seen a change. They were at least the older police officers were, yes, sir, no, sir, have a good day, sir, when they wrote you a ticket. And that was really about the worst you were going to get is a ticket. You didn't really think somebody's going to pull you out of the car and beat you. Nowadays, nowadays you're probably at least going to be taken out of the car. And if you're not a bootlicker right off the bat, they don't smell bootlicker on your breath, then you're in danger right off the bat.
Was that cop stick breath?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
But no, they have. I imagine they have their tails, especially if you're saying, "Well, I don't answer questions." That's a kind of red flag right there to them.
I mean, you know what I do, right? Like I created a trifold for people, right, to invoke their Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You see the way that I just dominate cops when they pull me over. They pull me over and they are immediately put in a beta role. And it's because I wield my camera and I wield my trifold like I'm a ninja. Like if you wield your trifold and your camera like a ninja, you can dominate them when they pull you over. I mean, granted, of course, you see I have my license, my registration, my proof. I have everything ready to go. So I'm not going to get stuck in that. And then they're not going to get me in that conundrum of, do you know why I pulled you over? Jackboot thug pig. I plead the fifth. And now you can't ask me another question. Or you violate your oath to office and I can sue you. And as soon as I start with that, they are just backpedaling. They are just straight. But what's the key here, Dr. Sean? It's the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have the literature. The literature makes it so they can't use the clearly established prong and invoke qualified immunity. They can't, if you don't have the literature and show them which right you're invoking, and then that literature is not on camera, then the clearly established prong would say that maybe they weren't aware that they weren't allowed to ask you any more questions after you pled the Fifth Amendment.
You have to actually invoke your Fifth Amendment right. And if you want to assert any rights, you have to actually vocalize it, because they can say, and you have to put them on due notice. Because if they don't have due notice, they can always claim ignorance. We can't claim ignorance, but they can claim ignorance.
Look, I give my products away for free. So if you buy it, great. I don't care. But if you contact me, I'll give it to you anyway. So Dr. Sean knows this about me. The Fifth Amendment cop card says exactly what he just says. It says, I see a cop, I start filming. Number 2, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right out loud. I've invoked my First and Fifth Amendment right in the first 2 steps. Dr. Sean Berry just said the exact same thing. That's the first 2 steps of your Fifth Amendment cop card.
And if you don't put them on due notice, if you know a law that they're breaking, you actually have to bring it to their attention. Otherwise, they will feign ignorance.
You can't park here. You can't
Yeah.
park here. Yes, I can park here. Test Lines versus Danforth says that my right to stopping anywhere I need to stop is fundamental. Now that it's on camera and I showed you the law, this would go around the clearly established prong. You now know which right of mine you're violating. My First Amendment right to travel, to freely travel. I set
If
this
you
up
don't
for
say
people.
it, if you don't say it, don't vocalize it. Try to at least learn the basics. So and the trifold is a easy step. You can just read off the trifold, present the trifold if need be. If you're too scared to speak it, just present it to them. So
it's people are screwing themselves by talking. They're
Yeah.
screwing themselves. They're getting into that, the Texas two-step. The Texas two-step. Which case was the so the Texas two-step is, here's what they do. They pull you over, right? And they say, "Oh, your taillight didn't work." And then you go back and you check your taillight. Oh, its taillight's on now. Let's just say, right? And then they go to leave, they take a step away, then they step back towards you and they say, "You mind if I search your car?"
Yeah.
You, as the law-abiding citizen, you don't realize that what he's doing is doing the Texas two-step, the trooper two-step, and he's the Kansas two-step. All different cops all over the country call it different things. And so what he's doing, though, is when he says, "Hey, Dr. Sean, do you mind if I search your car?" To you, the stop was over, and now this is a consensual stop. Now it's consensual in his mind. To you, you're still under the color of law, and he's asking to search your car as a cop who just pulled you over. And so this has gone to the Supreme Court already. And the Supreme Court said, "Nope, good. You can do that. Pull you over for nothing. Oops, I must have made a mistake." And then, "Oh, do you mind if I search your car?"
Yeah.
They can pull you over for a legitimate reason.
Yeah. They just recently ruled that they can't hold you for an extended period of time to bring the canine either. So
Rodriguez versus United States, 2015.
Yeah. I don't retain all those case laws. I try to write on my forearm the relevant case law and my phone number in case I get arrested. So in case
Look,
I beat my own number out of me.
I'm right now prepping for Constitutional Law Scholar again, so a lot of these cases are just super fresh in my mind. A lot of them I had to review because I've been reading these for 2 decades, but I don't necessarily remember all of them. But now that I have like literally 3 dozen case briefs tacked to my wall and over 100 cases on the wall, I'm reading them, so it's not like, I'm actively engaged in reading them every day. So, you know what I mean? So it's not like, ooh, you don't remember all these, you dirty Dr. Sean Berry.
Yeah, if I can get about a dozen cases, Brandsburg versus Hayes, Jeskowitz versus State, Castle Rock versus Gonzalez, Terry versus Ohio, not Pruneyard, that's in California. That's one of your. Wish we had something like that here. Pruneyard versus it's about the right to film in a mall.
What's the case again? Say it again.
Pruneyard.
Pruneyard.
Yeah, Pruneyard versus I forget what the other one was, but it was a case where there were some people filming inside of a public mall in a public area, and they were ruled that since it was open to the public that they were allowed to film. That's only a California law, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
okay.
Just it's another one where obstruction of First Amendment right. It's only a California law as well.
The Bain Act.
Bain Act, that's it. Yeah, the Bain Act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see a lot of auditors from all over the place, and you try to learn the laws until you find out they're just local.
Well, and that's the problem is a lot of the auditors are just wrong. They teach people the wrong thing. I mean, I'm about to teach hundreds of cases that are based on Terry versus Ohio. I can't teach very many that are based on qualified immunity. I'm going to teach hundreds of cases that teach you how Terry versus Ohio allows them to get into your life in hundreds of different ways, in ways you wouldn't even have thought. Like the Pringle case, 2003. If the drugs are in the car anywhere, probable cause that they're yours.
Yeah, usually for the most part, it's whoever's seat. If it's a toss-up, it's whoever they find it under that person's seat.
No, you're incorrect. Incorrect, sir.
Unless somebody confesses up, they usually only charge the driver can be, if they think the driver might have knowledge of it, I guess they can charge the driver, but it's usually the person whose seat it was under.
No, you're incorrect, sir. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
You'd be one of those YouTubers that I would watch your video and go,
yeah,
nope, that's wrong.
Well, I'm just going from what they usually do around here is if nobody confesses up to it, then they find it under the person's seat. They usually charge that person.
Yeah, that's the opposite. That's fundamentally not true. It's the opposite. Yeah. If a police officer stopped a car for speeding, searched the car, and seized money from the glove compartment and chemicals from the backseat armrest. The officer arrested the car's 3 occupants, all 3 of them, and they denied ownership of the chemicals and the money. A state court sentenced Pringle, the front seat passenger. Remember what you just said. This was in a different person's area. So a state court sentenced Pringle, the front seat passenger, for possessing the chemical with the intent to distribute. After he signed a written confession, the state appellate court reversed the conviction, holding that the mere finding of the chemical in the back armrest when Pringle was in the front seat of a car driven by its owner was insufficient to establish probable cause. So, question: does the arrest of a front seat passenger in a car driven by its owner after police find a chemical in the backseat armrest lack probable cause and violate Fourth Amendment's prohibition of unreasonable searches and seizures? No, it does not. In an unanimous decision delivered by Chief Rehnquist, Chief Racist in Chief, the court ruled that the other officer had probable cause to arrest Pringle. The arrest did not violate the Fourth Amendment. The court reasoned that a reasonable officer could conclude that there was probable cause to believe that Pringle committed the crime of possession of the chemical. So there it is. There it is. There it is in black and white. It's like anything you do is arrestable. And if you're around anything that's arrestable, you're arrestable. And, so what you just said, though, was intuitive. It would make sense, though, that if the gun was under my seat, that they would charge me because the gun's under my seat. No, if the gun's anywhere in the car, you're all 3 responsible.
That's usually what they would do. That's usually what they would do here in this. In Florida, that's what they would usually do, and that would be a case for a good DUI or a good defense attorney, I guess, to bring up and get the person off. So.
You know a lot of those? You know a lot of good ones?
No, actually. I have one right now who's working with me, for this case I'm on. But other than that, luckily I've had all my cases dismissed, no cross, because.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So let me see where we are for the money so I can get this money out of my account because I don't want to have any money in my account. So I got 300 here between Venmo, between PayPal, and between Venmo. So there's $300, $304, $302. So let's just call it 300 because my brain doesn't work very good when I'm doing math. And then in Cash App, I got $85 in Cash App. So $385.
Yeah, it's greatly appreciated. I appreciate you, Chille, for taking your time out on this Halloween Eve right here to. You could be doing other things, putting together, and I know you have a lot of projects going on, and you're a busy man. So dude, I'm older and retired right now, so I'm not doing much other than auditing and trying to stay out of jail.
This is exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing exactly what I'm. So the 385 and then 385, and then I had 40 from Alan and from Greg, who both donated before it began. So that's 420.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. I appreciate it. I thank everybody who sent in their money. And I know this is a rough time of the weekend, time of the month. This is the last day of the month here. So yeah, anybody who was able to come up with anything, I greatly appreciate it. Geo, go to Geo. So,
Mary, thank you so much. Appreciate you, Mary. I love you. Got nothing but love for you. Rod, thank you. Scott, Anthony, thank you so much. Chevy Bucks, thanks, Chevy Bucks. Angel, thank you so much. Gary, God bless you, Gary. yeah, that was yeah, Gary always jumps in right away. He's just never ever waits. Just the guy's just a total mensch. Mendez, thank you. I appreciate it. If I don't like and heart all your donations, because there's a lot that come in. So, Pistol Rex, what's going on? Raymond, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. David, thank you. Campbell, thank you. I appreciate it. P Rex, you donated twice. Thanks, brother. God bless you, man. God bless you. Dan Hanlon, thank you. Dan Hanlon donated twice. Dan Hanlon donated twice to people. I mean, unbelievable.
Thanks.
Dan S, Victor, James, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate all you guys. If I didn't mention your name, there was a couple super chats that came in. I think it was like for whatever. I'll send you the super chat money. I can only send half of it because of what YouTube does to us. They grab us and they shake us like a monkey. Scramble your brain.
It's one of they even let you make any money at all on YouTube. They want to demonetize everybody, and this is not something that they really monetize very much.
They don't love what we do.
Yeah.
They're on the side of the state, just like the judges.
Yeah, half of my videos I put out, half are monetized and half are not. On the occasion they take one down or two down here and there as well.
Team DLZ is rolling through the chat. I'll put it in there myself. Yep, I mean, Dr. Sean, it's been really an enlightening conversation with you.
You as well. Every time I listen to you, I gain a lot of knowledge. I got your big poster you have behind you a couple years ago, I guess, whenever you started doing this. Yeah, I got that. Whenever I discovered you on the internet, a couple years ago, and I ordered it right off the bat. That caught my eye. Yeah, it's a lot of information packed up into one document.
It's really cool, man. It's a lot of people love it. There's just so and Dr. Sean, I'm actually what I'm looking at right now in front of me, and I think I've shown a video of what the wall looks like so far, but I'm kind of redoing it. But I'm really focusing this time on the Supreme Court, and I'm really focusing on all the cases that are based on the jurisprudence is based on Terry versus Ohio, and how you lost your Fourth Amendment right when they put officer safety and stop and frisk into place. That's when it changed. America became a police state. You saw the prison chart. Prison chart skyrocketed. If you pat down anybody, you could find something on them that you could say I could arrest you for, or you don't understand what that is, and so I could arrest you for that. And it's just
simply crossing the street. We've had several of the auditors here in Florida, friends of mine, just simply crossing the street, even doing it lawfully. A cop doesn't know the state statute. We don't have a jaywalking statute in Florida. There are a lot of local ordinances, and they'll get you for anything here. Simply crossing the street, standing too close to a police officer. Had a good friend of mine a couple years ago. They gave her a lot of time just for refusing to move because they wanted her to step back.
So let me give you a little bit of information for any of your friends who might see this that do auditing. If you declare aloud when you start your audit that this is a police protest, then you invoke the 2019 case of Nivens versus Bartlett, where Bartlett sued Nivens for being in the wrong, and he was wrong. But then Neil Gorsuch is going to say that you can't be arrested for secondary minor crimes while you're doing a police protest, or they're arresting you just because you're doing your police protest. So if your friends start off their audit with, I'm auditing police, I invoke my First Amendment right, this is now a police protest, and they have that on video, it just got past 2019. So they should have a lock smack dab if they have the ability to get their federal civil rights lawsuit filed, and they don't get a judge I'm losing constantly, who just dismissed their case for whatever reason.
Yeah, I was arrested twice for a protest on a public sidewalk. I'm kind of proud of another new law that's out, Thompson versus Clark.
Yeah, 2022.
I'm not sure how effective that is, but I'm going to find out as well on this last.
I think I sued. I have so many cases in my head. You know what? I better just not say anything.
Yeah. You squeeze one more in, it'll come out on the other side. You know.
Well,
so
they monitor everything I say, everything I do. They've tried to. They're trying everything they can to stop me, but they can't stop me because they can't stop us. I mean, Sunday night, Halloween night on the 31st, last day of the month, and there's still hundreds of people come and donate and help people. So I'll be sending you about $425. So thanks for your patriotism.
I
If you want to give that to Gio or keep it, whatever, man. Thanks.
Yeah. I'll give it to Gio there. Anyway, I was just glad to get him out of that hellhole, you know, and it's exactly what that is. It's a hellhole. It's a dungeon. It's a hellhole, you know. So
bad,
we all know if you experience it, most people won't get a chance to experience it, but thankfully. It's a hellhole. Yeah,
but a large percentage of people have gone to jail now. It's a lot of people who've been through the dungeon system. Yeah, and they know they don't want to talk about it. They just forget it. They're like, "Oh, I'll just let it go," stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know? So, all right, I'll let you go, Dr. Sean Berry. Thanks for coming, dude.
Okay, and thank you very much, Chille.
See you on the next one. Later, Gator. So yeah, there it is. The Angry Vet. What is going on, my friend? How are you? Good to see you. Angry Vet's in the room, everybody. Chevy writes on, what is going on with the Playboy? What is going on with the Playboy? Yeah, you know, crazy. There's been an uptick in people getting the poster now because I've given away so many that people have gone and bought the big poster. There's a poster for like $100 on my website. I've sold 3 or 4 in the last few days, just showing the poster and people looking at it. They're like, that is freaking killer. It really is. There's a lot of data on there. There's a lot of information on that poster. And a lot of people hacked me, people who are professionals at making infographics and stuff, because there's, you know, it's not perfect, right? Of course, you know, it's a hack job from someone who's autodidactic that learned everything that I learned by reading and researching myself. And so, you know, but at the same time, I put a ton of information in there. You know, just the presidents alone on this black bar, from going from Washington all the way to Biden, you know, it's just so much information. You know, you don't know, can you list all the presidents right now? Can you? I'll bet I can list more. I don't know if I could list them all in a row. I think I probably could. I'm not going to do it right now. I've been on twice now live, and my brain is cooked from all of the Supreme Court cases I was looking at today for Constitutional Law Scholar. So I'm going to be cooked. I'm not going to try right this second, but maybe I'll try another day. I'll go from beginning to end, all the presidents. I mean, the first 10 are pretty easy, but then after that, you know, you could make a mistake for sure. If you're not sharp as a tack, you know, you could make a mistake for sure. So yeah, the poster's amazing. This poster's dope. Don't get the laminated one. There's a laminated one for like $140, but the one that I have, the next one down, the $100 one, it's on the same paper as this. I like it better. I don't like the laminated finish on the poster. I like the matte finish on the poster. But yeah, no, I've just been, there's a mission here, baby. We don't stop. 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 Everybody get over. My friend writes on, subscribe to this guy's channel. He's got a great channel. He's always covering stuff in the world, bringing me out. You know, Gloria, how are you, hon? Good to see you. Oh yeah, a copy of the Constitution. That's a pretty good idea, Brandy. Yeah, you know, so if Aaron Temple just said, Chille, don't you think you have to study and read not to be enslaved? You know, if you get into YouTube and you look up some thoughts on education, a thesis written by John Locke in 1693, and you won't be able to read it but you'll be able to listen to lectures on some thoughts on education by John Locke, 1693. John Locke was so crystal clear in his philosophy on education that he said a man's character is 9/10 education and 1/10 ignorance. So he said, show me the character of a man and I'll show you how much education he has. And so, you know, it's like he really said whether a person is good or bad, is useful or not, is based 100% on their education. This is what John Locke, these are his, you can look up these quotes. So, you know, you not educate. I mean, that's why I give away the stuff I sell for free. Like, how come you think I do that? Because I know that if you don't educate yourself, that we'll be locked in this paradigm of ignorance and stupid people who can't see what liberty even means because they were never taught and they never learned. So that's where my head and my heart is. That's where my head and my heart is. That's where my head and my heart is. We do not stop. Boy, I'm loving refreshing on all the Supreme Court cases because I've been reading these cases for years, studying this stuff for years behind the scenes before I was an on-camera personality. But the amount of study I've been doing this past couple of weeks, diving back into these Supreme Court cases, there's a lot that my brain, I like to think I have a pretty close to a photographic memory, and I probably have a better memory than most people here. But at the same time, I don't have a photographic memory. There's stuff I just forgot, and I had to refresh it. And then because I have dyslexia, I often will mess up the years, 2008, 2003, because the 3 and the 8 look the same. My brain will flip it, and it does weird things to me. So, there's worse problems to have. So listen, you guys, make sure that everybody has my trifold in your car. If you can't afford it, I'll give it to you for free. Get it on deletelaws.com. If you can't afford it, hit the inquiry form and be like, yo, I am on disability. I'm on fixed income. I can't get that. And I'll give it to you for free. If you can afford it though, you can get it for like $8.50 when you print it home. And then you have the PDF and you can always print it again. All right, I'm going to get the flock out of here and go enjoy some Halloween stuff. Go look at some kids trick-or-treating and be like, oh, I remember being young and just being so happy when someone gave me a couple candy bars, like they gave me a couple candy bars and I was so happy. We don't stop. Later, Chevy. Later. We don't stop. Later, Gator. Later. Thank you too. Thank you guys. I appreciate you, Tammy. All right, I'm going to get the flock out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.